You are being read right now, not by a machine, not by an algorithm, by the people sitting closest to you, the ones you call friends, the ones you trust, the ones you have let inside, and they are taking notes. Every time you opened up, every time you said, "I'm struggling," every time you laughed too hard or cried too easily, or admitted what you wanted most, you handed them a map. A detailed, precise, intimate map of exactly where to hit you. And the worst part? You gave it to them willingly. You called it connection. You called it vulnerability. You called it being real. But in the game that actually governs human behavior, what you called authenticity, they called intelligence gathering. You are not paranoid. You are not broken. You are simply awake, maybe for the first time, to what has always been happening beneath the surface of every relationship you thought was safe. Think about the last time someone used something against you that you had shared in a private moment. Think about the last time a weakness you admitted became a weapon in an argument. Think about the last time your honesty was met not with respect, but with quiet calculation. You felt it. You always felt it. You just didn't have the language for it. Until now. The world told you that being open was strength. Your parents said it. Your teachers said it. Every motivational post you ever scrolled past said it. Be vulnerable. Be authentic. Let people in. And so you did. And so they entered. And so they learned you. Every fear, every wound, every desire, every insecurity, every dream that matters so much to you that even saying it out loud makes your voice shake. And once they had all of that, once they had the full blueprint of who you are and what destroys you, some of them used it. Not violently, not obviously, subtly, patiently. The way a chess player uses a piece they've been positioning for 15 moves. You didn't see it coming because you were still playing checkers. Because you were still operating on the assumption that the world rewards openness, that honesty earns respect, that love is unconditional. But that is not the world Niccolo Machiavelli saw. And Machiavelli, the most feared, most misunderstood, most deliberately buried political philosopher in human history, saw the world as it actually is, not as we wish it to be, not as religion promised it would be, not as our mothers told us it was. As it is. They called him evil. They banned his books. The Catholic Church placed his writings on the index of forbidden books for centuries, because what he wrote was not evil. What he wrote was true, and truth, real, unfiltered, weaponized truth about human nature and power is always the first thing powerful people try to suppress. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived." Read that again. Sit with that. He is not mocking you. He is warning you. He is saying that deception is not rare. It is not the exception. It is the strategy of those who understand that most people are operating on hope and habit while they are operating on calculation and patience. And the open-hearted man, the man who leads with feeling, who gives trust before it is earned, who mistakes familiarity for safety, is not admired in the real game. He is targeted. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. What you are about to understand is not an invitation to become cold. It is not an instruction to shut down, to wall off, to stop feeling. It is an invitation to see clearly, because a man who sees clearly, a man who understands the architecture of manipulation, before it is used on him is not a victim. He is a sovereign. The first principle Machiavelli understood that most men never learn is this: information is the real currency of power, and most men spend it like they have infinite supply. Think about how much you share, not just with people you are close to. Think about how much you reveal to people you barely know. You tell the guy at work what stresses you out at home. You tell the girl you just met what your last relationship did to you. You tell your group chat about the thing that almost broke you last year. And every single one of those pieces of information is a coordinate, a GPS point in the map of your inner world. The dark psychology here is not complicated. People do not need to consciously decide to use your vulnerabilities against you. It happens automatically. When they know what you fear, they instinctively know how to make you compliant. When they know what you want, they instinctively know how to dangle it. When they know what broke you before, they instinctively know exactly how much pressure to apply before you fold. The practical action is simple, and it starts today. Begin treating your inner world like a vault, not an open house. You do not stop feeling, you stop broadcasting. Share selectively, share slowly. Let people earn access to your depth the way you would make someone earn access to anything of extraordinary value. Through time, through demonstrated trustworthiness, through consistent action that proves they deserve to be there. Drop this in the comments. I stopped being an open book the day I realized not everyone deserves to read me. The second principle is one that will disturb you if you have ever been in a relationship, romantic, professional, or otherwise, where you gave everything and received strategy in return. Machiavelli understood that appearing warm is one of the most effective political tools that exists. Not being warm, appearing warm. There is a category of person, and they are more common than you want to believe, who leads with affection, precisely because they have learned that affection opens doors that logic and argument cannot. They smile first. They listen intently. They remember small details about your life. They make you feel seen. And the entire time, they are mapping, they are cataloging, they are building a file on you that they will reference when it serves them. This is not cynicism, this is pattern recognition. And the difference between a man who gets used and a man who stays free is whether or not he can recognize this pattern before it has already cost him something irreplaceable. The real-world example is this. You have met this person. Maybe you are in a relationship with them right now. Maybe it is a friend who always seems to know exactly which thing to say to make you feel guilty. Maybe it is a colleague who was fascinated by your ambitions right up until those ambitions became competition. The warmth was real in the moment, but its origin was strategic. And you only see that when you look back from the other side of the damage. The practical action here is to watch what people do with what you tell them over time. Not in one conversation. Over months, over years. A person who genuinely cares about you will use your vulnerabilities to protect you. A person who is cataloging you will use them to control you. Time reveals everything. Patience is your diagnostic tool. The third principle strikes at something that the personal development industry will never tell you because it contradicts everything they sell. Sympathy is not always offered. Sometimes it is extracted. There are people who are experts, some consciously, some not, at creating conditions that make you feel safe enough to expose yourself. They share something personal first. They create a reciprocal obligation. They frame openness as trust building. They make silence feel like coldness. And through that constructed intimacy, they pull information out of you that they never could have taken directly. Machiavelli saw this centuries before modern psychology gave it a name. He understood that the most dangerous people are not the ones who threaten you. They are the ones who make you feel understood. Because when you feel understood, your guard drops. And a dropped guard is an open door. Drop this in the comments. The most dangerous person in the room is not the one who argues with you. It's the one who understands you completely and uses it quietly. The dark psychology at work here is called manufactured intimacy. It is the deliberate acceleration of closeness to bypass your natural defenses. And it works because it exploits something genuinely beautiful in you. Your desire to be known, your hunger for real connection in a world that increasingly feels disconnected. These are not weaknesses to be ashamed of. They are human needs that certain predatory personalities have learned to weaponize with frightening efficiency. The practical action is to pay attention to the pace of intimacy, not just the quality of it. Real connection builds slowly. Real trust accumulates through small, consistent moments over long stretches of time. When someone's warmth arrives too fast, too perfectly, too precisely calibrated to what you needed to hear, slow down. Not because they are definitely dangerous, but because speed is a technique, and you deserve to know whether what you are receiving is genuine or manufactured. The fourth principle is about what happens after the mapping is complete. Once someone has enough information about you, once they understand your insecurities, your triggers, your unfulfilled needs, your deepest ambitions, they have the ability to do something extraordinarily subtle. They can manage you. They can navigate every interaction with you in a way that produces the outcome they want. While you believe you are acting freely, you believe you are making independent choices. You believe the relationship is balanced. But underneath the surface, someone who knows you deeply and does not have your best interests at heart is simply pulling levers you cannot see. This is what Machiavelli meant when he wrote about the nature of princes and the nature of those who advise them. The power often does not rest with the person who appears to be in control. It rests with the person who understands the person in control. The advisor who knows the prince's fears, the partner who knows the man's wounds, the friend who knows the secret that cannot be made public. Knowledge of you is leverage over you, not potential leverage, actual leverage. In the hands of the wrong person, everything you have ever confided becomes a chain. Drop this in the comments. The person who knows your deepest wounds has the most power over your future. Choose who earns that access. The practical action here is to conduct a quiet audit of the significant relationships in your life. Ask yourself honestly, who knows the most about me? And then ask the harder question, what have they done with that knowledge? Have they used it to support me? Or have they, even occasionally, used it to angle me, to guilt me, to keep me where it is convenient for them that I stay? You do not need to be dramatic about this. You do not need confrontation. You simply need clarity. And once you have clarity, you are never again at the mercy of someone else's information advantage. The fifth principle, Machiavelli, embedded throughout his work, is one that most men discover only after a significant betrayal. The person who uses your open heart against you is almost never a stranger. Strangers cannot access your vulnerabilities because you have not given them access. The damage is always done by someone you chose, someone you invited, someone you decided was safe enough to see the real you. And this is why the betrayal cuts so deep, not because of what they did, but because of what you gave them that made it possible. This is not about blame, it is about responsibility. There is a radical difference between those two things. Blame looks backward, responsibility looks forward. A man who blames himself for being betrayed stays in pain. A man who takes responsibility for who he allows into his inner world never gets betrayed the same way twice. The real-world example is the relationship that ended with them using your history against you. The friendship that turned into a hostage situation because they knew too much. The professional partnership that collapsed when your business partner leveraged your insecurities to renegotiate the terms in their favor. In every one of these cases, the wound was made possible not by their cruelty, but by your trust given too soon to someone who had not yet demonstrated they deserved it. Drop this in the comments. Trust is not something you give. It is something that is built brick by brick over time. Never confuse comfort with safety. The practical action is to build a new standard for access, not a wall, a gate. Gates have hinges, gates can open, but gates require a key, and you decide who holds the key. The key is earned through consistency over time, through demonstrated respect for what you have shared previously, through evidence, not words, not warmth, not charm, but evidence that who you are matters more to them than what they can extract from you. The sixth principle is perhaps the most counterintuitive thing Machiavelli ever embedded in his philosophy, and it has the power to completely reframe how you see your own strength. He understood that a man who appears to need nothing, who reveals no hunger, no wound, no desperation, commands a different quality of respect than any man who wears his needs openly. Not because vulnerability is weakness in the emotional sense, but because in the social and political arena, visible need is an invitation for exploitation. When you want something badly enough that it shows, when your desire for approval, for belonging, for success, for love is readable in how you carry yourself. Certain people will use that visibility to make you work for things that should have been offered freely. The dark psychology here is the economy of perceived value. People, including people who care about you, treat you according to how much they believe you need them. A man who carries himself as though he is complete, as though he has options, as though his presence is a gift rather than a request, that man is treated with a different level of consideration. Not because he is cold, not because he is arrogant, but because he has removed the most exploitable signal a man can broadcast, which is the silent scream of, "I need your validation to feel whole." Drop this in the comments. When you stop needing their approval, you stop being controllable. That terrifies people who were counting on your need. The practical action here is to work every single day on becoming someone whose sense of completeness comes from inside, not from relationships, not from status, not from being chosen. From your own deepening relationship with your values, your discipline, your purpose, and your vision. This is not selfishness. This is the foundation without which no relationship you build will ever be truly free. Because a relationship built on need is a relationship built on a power imbalance. And power imbalances, over time, always resolve, and never in favor of the one who needed more. The seventh principle is the one that Machiavelli returned to again and again in different forms across his writing. And it is the one that, when you truly understand it, changes the way you move through every room, every relationship, every negotiation for the rest of your life. He understood that the world is divided not into good people and bad people, but into those who understand the nature of the game and those who do not. Those who understand it can choose when to be generous and when to be guarded, when to speak and when to be silent, when to reveal and when to conceal. They are not manipulative, they are sovereign. They operate from choice, not from habit. They are not driven by the compulsive need to be liked, or to be seen as good, or to perform openness because culture told them openness is a virtue. The man who understands this principle does not stop having a heart. He stops lending it out indiscriminately. He does not stop trusting. He stops trusting automatically. He is not closed. He is discerning. And discernment, the ability to see clearly and to choose consciously, is perhaps the rarest and most powerful thing a man can develop. The real-world example is this. Think about the man in your life, or the version of a man you have glimpsed who never seems rattled, who never seems desperate, who is warm when warmth is warranted and cold when cold is necessary, who people cannot quite read, cannot quite predict, cannot quite get a handle on. That man is not lucky. That man is not naturally gifted with emotional armor. That man has learned what you are learning right now. He understands the architecture of social power. He operates from knowledge, not from hope. And now, so do you. You can feel everything happening shifting right now, can't you? Something tightening, something clarifying. Like the light finally hitting a room that has been dark for longer than you want to admit, because you are starting to see it. All of it. Every relationship where you gave too much too fast. Every moment where your honesty was taken as an inventory. Every time your openness was used as a data point in someone else's strategy. You are seeing it not with bitterness, but with the cold, precise clarity of a man who has decided he is done being a resource and ready to become a force. The old you is dead. The version of you who walked into rooms hoping to be liked, he is gone. The version who shared wounds with people who had not earned the right to witness them, he is gone. The version who mistook warmth for safety, attention for care, familiarity for loyalty, he is gone. And his death is not something to mourn, it is something to mark. Because on the other side of that death is something that the world rarely gets to see and almost never gets to control. You are a weapon, pointed at your own future, not pointed at other people, not at enemies, not at the people who used you, at your own future. Because that is what a man who finally understands himself becomes, precision instrument for the life he chooses. Not the life others drafted for him by keeping him needy, keeping him open, keeping him predictably exploitable. The life he builds with clear eyes, measured trust, sovereign judgment, and the quiet, unshakable power of a man who can no longer be mapped. You belong to no one, not to the approval of others, not to the emotional economy of people who priced your access too low because you offered it for free. not to the system that told you vulnerability was always virtue and openness was always strength. You belong to yourself, completely, finally. And that belonging, that radical self-possession is the thing that changes everything. How you are treated, how you are seen, who stays, who leaves, what you build, what you refuse to accept. This is not the end of your capacity to love. This is the beginning of your ability to love from strength instead of from fear, to connect from abundance instead of from need, to give from choice instead of from the desperate hope that giving will keep people from leaving. Machiavelli did not write for princes alone. He wrote for every man who was tired of being the one who lost. Every man who looked at his life and felt, in the quiet, honest moments, that something was fundamentally tilted against him, that the rules he had been given to play by were not the rules actually being used by the people around him. He wrote for you, centuries before you existed, because human nature does not change. The game does not change, only the players change. And the only variable that determines whether you win or lose is whether you finally decide to understand it. You have started. Today. Right now. That is not small. That is everything. If what you heard tonight split something open in you, if it confirmed something you always felt but never had words for, then you already know what kind of channel this is. We do not tell you what you want to hear here. We tell you what changes the trajectory. Every week. And if you are ready to keep going, if you are ready to go deeper into the philosophy of power, sovereignty, and the psychology of the men who have moved through history without being consumed by it, then you know what to do, not because I am asking you, but because a man who is building something real does not walk away from a resource that serves his becoming. The choice is yours. It always has been. That is the point. Now leave me with this, and leave it in the comments, because I want to know where you are right now. What is the one thing you shared with someone you trusted, that they later used against you, that finally made you realize the map you had given them was never safe in their hands? You said, "You are an elite visual director for a dark psychology, power philosophy channel."